couple from there up here.
Oh, we catch you in a moment of silence here. What do we got going on here?
Working on my flamingo pose. It's my summer rest pose since last week of school. Today was step up day. It was kind of hectic, kind of chaotic. Yeah. Just kind of just trying to chill out a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I'm just playing with my my Manly USB charged lighter here. I got, had to do a flint and steel fire start a couple weeks, 2 weekends ago, but I sent them a message saying flint and steel, USB is the way to go, buddy. USB-C charge. You got your little flicker, and they're laughing at me. But
you know what you could use that for?
Fire also? Did go well. Oh, what can I use it for? Also,
rumor has it that a certain Cleveland Brown used that on the general manager to get traded to a Super Bowl contender.
Yes. Torched his old contract, I hear. Okay. All right. Yeah. Crazy in the world that we were chatting briefly before. Crazy in the world of football. All of our non-sports fans, please fast forward 3 minutes. And so we got the Browns changing or trading Myles Garrett to the Rams for it was a future next year's number 1 and Myles Garrett. And it might have been a 3 or 4 in there, I forget. But the word on the street is a few months ago, they restructured, or when they restructured Myles Garrett's contract, they pushed his, his, like the incentives, earnings he would get, bonuses, like, good.
Every year they get a bonus at a certain point of the year. His got pushed back to September, I think.
Yeah, his was going to be the week before the start of the season. And when that happened, supposedly people were talking about he's getting traded. And people were hearing it and not necessarily like buying into it because they called. And when they talked to the Browns organization, they were like, we're not trading him. Are you kidding me? But yeah, so then that happened. And that was kind of crazy. Like, and the DraftKings Vegas odds, the Rams are a favorite to win the Super Bowl next year. And there was whatever the plus 800 means. I'm not a gambling guy. And it went from plus 800 to 650 to 600 in the course of 1 hour. So, and they said this, if you think about it, it is not often a defensive player can affect what people are thinking about a team. Normally it's a quarterback, it's a big time guy, or it's a negative reaction, right? They get rid of a guy or they pick a guy up that's like, what are you talking about? But yeah, the Myles Garrett trade is pretty big.
They said, so I think it was First Things First on Fox Sports, FS1. They were saying that the amount of time that Cleveland was ahead in games, the teams would have to go into a passing mode late in the game to play catch up was so small. So Myles Garrett was racking up sacks on a team that set the sack record on a team that was very rarely ahead of other teams.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So they said, you imagine with him being on that team, what he's going to do. He's a heck of a player. Still don't understand what happened between him and Mason Rudolph in that Steeler game.
Oh, when he hit him on the head. I remember that.
Yeah, with the helmet. And then they were talking, Cleveland did really well in the draft, but then a couple sportscasters said, winning the draft is one thing, winning football games is something else. They did well on this draft. They got rid of Myles Garrett, but they got a all-pro or I think all-pro pass rusher, or, an excellent pass rusher, young kid on his entry contract, and a bunch of draft picks. So Pittsburgh is like, we should do this with TJ or TJ Watt, and people were like, you're not going to get that for TJ Watt with his totals last year.
Yeah. Earlier, maybe 2 years ago, you could have got that. But
yeah.
And the other thing is, I think they said that they have 13 picks next year. The
I don't
Browns,
know.
possibly. So there was that. Like that was crazy, and then of course all of our Eagles fans, our eastern side of the state, get AJ Brown gone, and which they pretty much were banking on, and supposedly, just clearing up a lot of cap space and stuff like that, and they got a couple guys in the. They got a young receiver core, so hopefully they'll be able to do something. But gosh, Howie Roseman, holy moly! I don't know if you saw on YouTube. The HBO Max has a lot of the NFL film stuff. I don't have access to that, but on YouTube there is a draft day and for the Eagles, and I apologize to bring it up, but they do talk about the deal where the Steelers were on the phone with somebody. I forget, it was is it Malachi or Mackay, the Eagles pick, right? Steelers, and they literally show him talking like, hey, it's like, oh, this is the GM of the Steelers. We're ready to pick you next. And they didn't realize that the Eagles traded with the Cowboys to leapfrog, and then they picked him. But they get it all on film. Like it's just, again, for me, it's the strategy. It's the stuff in the behind the scenes after playing years and then coaching in the collegiate level, and just how things roll and work with that. Like
Now you freeze. When you're telling the story, it's clear. Then after the story about Steelers getting clowned, you froze up for a second.
Oh, really? Oh, hey, perfect, right? Perfect, right? Okay, that's how it is. All right, but yeah, so that's funny. I didn't notice I froze on here, but yeah, possibly. But yeah, so interesting stuff there, and yeah, right now. What's your go-to show right now that you got going on? Anything major?
We just got Paramount Plus because
Oh,
if you have a college student in your household, you can get Paramount Plus for half price. So my daughter's a big fan of School Spirits. I was a big fan of Tulsa King, and
okay,
I want to see Landman because I'm a big Billy Bob Thornton fan. So
yeah,
I've been streaming. I had to get a shot on Friday for shingles, and Saturday I was just kind of I laid on the couch, wasn't feeling great, so I did a mass binge of Tulsa King.
Gotcha.
They went shopping. I sat there with Charlie. We sat there and watched Tulsa King, and I think it's one of Stallone's.
I was gonna say, is that okay? I didn't know. I've seen listen, I don't have Paramount Plus, so like between with Landman and then Tulsa King, I didn't know the name of it, but I pretty much watched the clips like they string together illegally on TikTok. So I feel like I've watched a lot of the episodes. And when you were talking, I'm like, I wonder if it's that show, because I never looked up to see what the name
I've not seen Landman yet. I want to see it.
Okay.
He had a Prime show where he was an attorney, and he was just kind of he was great in that show, Billy Bob Thornton. So
Goliath, maybe I think it was called.
Yeah, Goliath. Watching
that.
And I did the trial during football season, so I caught a few shows of Tulsa King, and it's kind of like it's similar to Sopranos. The guy that does all the westerns for Paramount,
Taylor or whatever, something.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan. I didn't realize he's one of the creators of this show.
Oh,
so he's in it. Then Ron Burkle, who used to own the Penguins, is also tied into this show. So some Pittsburgh connection there, but it's a good Stallone character. It's not your usual Rocky thing.
Well, so I don't know if I've shared this one on the pod before. I know I've told some people that I know otherwise, but Hulu. So, we have the Hulu Disney deal, and Hazardous History. Have I shared that one with you yet?
Which one?
So it's called Hazardous History. Henry Winkler is he's basically like narrating the thing and talking, and they start off with like toys back in the day. So like I put it on, and it's kind of like a new thing when my daughter and son-in-law come over. We kind of put an episode on, so we're only like 4 episodes in maybe. First one was talking about toys from back in the day, charts, lawn darts, the real kind, and we used to like sharpen the edge, and you throw it up, count to 10, you run, which direction did it go? Like the stuff that they couldn't believe was sent home. They talked about this radioactive kit. They were literally sending like radioactive stones to homes, and kids were like handling them, and they were making an at-home Geiger counter with like the stuff that they would do. I mean, it was crazy. Then it got into medicine, and then it got, I guess, part of the. So what's that?
Mercurochrome, the red stuff that you put on.
Yep. And then the fact that they would like, the different drugs of the back in the day that they would use for medicine. So Hazardous History, it's pretty good, pretty long, different clips, and of course it's good to see the Fonz talking about some different stuff. So that's got some cool stuff there. And then on Hulu, I'm a big I like I'm a football guy, but then watching the other football, but the Welcome to Wrexham. So I was way back when watching that, and so that's got me going there. So that's a pretty good show.
That's one I want to watch. I heard it's a great show. Welcome to Wrexham. The history one, I've heard about it. I've not seen it.
You got to pop that on. That's a good one.
And
then what's the new the Bergs or the Burrow, the new Duffer Brothers? So that's not the Stranger Things guys. So it's a new show they put out. We started watching it. My wife was laughing. She's like, "This feels like it's like Cocoon." Remember the old movie Cocoon? Yeah. It's all about older people and like. And this is just they were at like a senior community kind of a thing. Yeah. So we were almost done with that season that came out. That's kind of interesting. So that's one to check in. So that's on Netflix.
Interesting fact.
Yeah.
The movie Cocoon, you are about the same age as most of the stars in that movie. I am older than most of the stars at the age they were in that movie.
Yeah.
I was I'll read on Apple News. They'll have like things and how stars looked back in the 50s, the 70s, the 80s, and how they look today. And it's like Tom Cruise is in his 60s, and you have other people, and some people may or may not have had some work done. Others don't look like they've had work done, but just how they dress and how they comport themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
So
it's funny. Yeah, those are always fun. Yeah.
You reading any good books? I know you're not a big bookie.
I am not actually. I'm So we are big fans of Aliens Among Us, 10 Truths About Gen Z, and Stephen Robertson has a new book coming out. So I have some reading to do, a pre-release kind of thing to go through. And I was telling my wife about it, and she looks at me and she goes, and if she's in the car driving, listening, don't crash on that, me laughing there. And she looks at me and she goes, can you even read books? And I'm like, listen, it would take me forever. But yes, I think I could. It's been a while since I've gone through. I mean, when we've done our book studies, that's about it. But I did sign up for a math book study this summer. So ironically, that and then the new book that I'm not allowed to say. I don't think I'm allowed to say the name of the book yet. So I'll be talking about that on a pod upcoming. But I'm a blog guy. I read a lot of blogs. I just don't read a lot of it's like the short form videos that ruin kids' mind. Short form blogs have ruined my mind. But all right, speaking of books, what do you got for books?
I'm reading It Ends With Us. I actually had a friend of mine. There's a used bookstore in Elwood that they're taking donations. There'd been a fire. So people at work were giving me books to turn in, to the gentleman that owns the store to help him out. Well, I was reading them as they were turning them in. Then I'm going to donate them after I read them. And I got the one that begins with us. And ironically, that's the second one in the series. The first one's It Ends With Us. My daughter got the book at a bookstore at Barnes & Noble. So I'm reading it. Then I'll read the other one. I'll donate the other one. This is her book, goes back to her. But I read an educational book or a heavy book, content book, philosophical or, something like that. But then I like hard case crime, the old 1940s noir, like, Sam Spade, Mickey Spillane books and stuff. I'll read those. So I go back and forth from something easy, good, light reading, some young adult novels that the kids read just to have an idea what's going on. And then I'll read some heavy books.
Okay.
So I bounce back and forth. I like sitting there reading. I'm a big book nerd. Besides just being a nerd.
Yeah, you're branching out. Yeah. I'm just happy that I've raised a bunch of readers, and I've got some voracious readers in my daughters. And that was the biggest argument my daughter and her son-in-law had, is because he's got books from going with college and doing theological studies and stuff, books like that. And then she's got all of her books. And in the end, he found out that she wins, and they were buying extra bookcases for her books. his books went into the his proposed first landing spot of, well, the closet has some pretty deep shelves. Your books would go well there. That's where his books are. But yes, that's the biggest thing. They're running out of room for their books. But
Yeah.
they read a lot. So yeah. But yeah, so I'm a blog guy. But yeah, so I'll be doing a little bit of reading, so you can check on me, and check on that. So, but listen, so we got books, we got football trade talk, which is crazy in June. Got some different shows, but we're talking about shows, so I guess that means something's happening in summer. But I think more importantly, it just clicked over to June, birthday month for my daughter and I, so that's important. And it's tough to tell what day of the week it is. Like right now, where are we even at? Is it Friday yet? Thursday yet? Maybe it's
Tuesday. It's
I think
the
it's
first Tuesday.
I guess it's time for
The PACT pod.
let's roll it. Welcome to the PhD Pod, a show for educators by educators. PhD is a 100% volunteer-run organization. Talk about education technology in Pennsylvania
And beyond.
and beyond. My name is Eric Verno. I am the past president of PhD, and with me, my co-host, as always, is
Dom Salvucci. I'm the current president of PACT.
that he is. And today we're going to be talking about schools out, almost. Yeah, I know. I got 1 half day with kids and a half PD or 2 half PD days yet. What about you? What's your end in sight as well?
Grades are in. We had step up day today. Tomorrow is a full day. And it's like locker clean out. So we're running an alternate schedule. Then we have activities for the kids if they want to participate.
Yep.
And then Thursday is kind of a turnaround. They drop the kids off at the high school. The buses go. We make a run for the middle school, then go to the elementary schools. They drop the elementary school kids off. They come back to the high school to pick them up and take them home. So we have that Thursday. Friday is our last in-service day of the year. So it has been.
That's awesome.
It's weird. Like
Doesn't
quote unique situation this year with things going on with the family. It doesn't feel quite like the end of the year, but it came out of nowhere. It seems like. So
yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, it is wild. It really is. It's like one of those deals where you're looking down the road and you see, oh my gosh, the end of the year is so far away, and then you're rolling, and it finally hits, and you're like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. But yeah, so so the late May, early June concept of teaching. I didn't show you this ahead of time. This just popped into my brain to share. So let me put this up on the screen. I've got a great little TikTok clip here to show. So it's called If Netflix Made a Documentary About Teachers in Late May. The audio playing?
no audio.
Hold on, it failed on the share. Give me a second.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I think you shared this with me. Someone shared this with me on social media. It's a great clip. You got to get it so it'll play.
Yeah, I got it. I just said, when I switched over to the second one. So here we go. So our whole school.
I didn't think it was humanly possible to be this tired. I mean, my students act shocked when I enforce a rule that's been around for 9 months. Why are they surprised? Sometimes what I do when I get home is I just sit in my car. I just sit and I decompress. Just found out next year's first year teachers were born in 2004. Bro, are you serious? 2004? I feel like I'm geriatric. Don't get me wrong, I love my students, but we could really go for a lesson on deodorant. Does anybody here know what schedule we're running today? I can't keep track. Every day there's a field trip or a concert or a school visit. Like there's something going on every day. I'm starting to go crazy. I don't even know what day it is. I told my students I was going to be gone and they all collectively cheered. I'm doing this thing when we get home and I just lay on the couch. I just lay there, motionless. Yeah, my pets are pretty freaked out. Okay, don't tell anybody, but I saw Mr. Joe looking at job postings. Do you guys care if I just take a nap here? Like, do you care if I just sleep here for a little bit? Kind of eavesdropping on the math class the other day, and I heard the teacher say that they are 2.5 units behind. Bro, we got 2 weeks of school left. How are they going to get caught up? During state testing, I had a student that decided to tape a fart machine underneath one of the chairs. Kids act so surprised when I make them read a book. Like, hey, that's what we do here at school. We read. So then I told Mrs. Johnson, hey, take my parking spot one more time and see what happens. I've had that spot all year. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really say it to her. I thought it.
That's great.
That's kind of what it's been like, right? You know, it's just kind of crazy. Yeah. But yeah, figuring all the things out. And I know in different parts of the state still have a week or two to go.
I know.
We hear from our Philly teachers. Usually they go a little longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Some schools here are out. We're finishing up this week. Other schools are done. Some schools go next week. You know, it felt like we went later this year, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just the way things fell, but
right.
It's, you know,
well, our shocker is for the first time ever, we're going to be done before Memorial Day next year. Now students officially done. We have like 2 days of PD, like June 1st and June 2nd, but still it's enough to celebrate. It's the first time our school has had that. So, way to rub it in, Krenzer.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. As always. Yes. If you're done, feel free to give those shout outs because you've earned it, right?
Yes.
Definitely. So yeah, kind of crazy, but yeah, we're rocking and rolling and seeing how things are going. But yeah, so yeah, school's out almost. The episode title, we talk a little bit about different things that are going on in the cleanup. Like we had our move up day where we get to meet our kids we're going to have next year and talk about a couple things. And we have them do some rotations, just have them fill out some stuff, talk about just kind of get to know you stuff, real nice and easy. And then in our building, our 6th graders will go back and hang with the 4th grade teachers for a little bit. And I'll tell you what, I've been I don't know. Do you do any kind of, it's kind of different for you in your setting than it is for middle school or high school teachers or middle school or elementary teachers. But do you do any kind of like end of the year wrap ups or anything with the kids?
I used to. This year I didn't because due to, like I said, different circumstances. I usually do a reflection at the end of the year, ask the kids, you know, what they liked, what would they change, try and be positive instead of like, what didn't you like? What would you change? You know, thoughts on things, any questions, stuff like that. I usually do that. This year I didn't because of time constraints. But you know, I always try, and I do that throughout the year, honestly, with some things like after a unit that, you know, especially beginning of the year, get a feel for the kids and what they like to do better. You know, to get that reflection thing going with them. This year, not so much.
So I do a Google slide at the beginning of the year. It's talking with their math, just with my math class. I don't do it with my science because I don't have a lot of time in the period, but it's just like, you know, what do you feel your strengths are? What did you like most? And I always tell them like, hey, you be honest here because you're telling me how good or bad 5th and 4th grade are. You're not. This doesn't reflect on me. Like I don't get like math's the worst thing ever. I'm like, it's my job to change your mind. And then now I do like a version of that. I bring up their old one and tell them read over that, see what you had, and then here's a different style version. It's less, and you know, just a couple questions about where your strengths are, and I kind of like rank some different skills on slides, and I have them ranked at the beginning. And then they rank at the end where they feel they are now. So at late July, I'll kind of go through it. I'll pull those up. I tell them I give them a month to run before I read anything, so that way I'm not able to throw anything out of it, hit them, and they laugh. And I still I'll check that out. And then the other thing is like end of the year wrap up, just to throw out there. Like I this year was normally I've used Clipchamp or I've used some different like apps. Like. You're good with if you're doing it on your own with a Mac. At school, you don't use a Mac, but personally, you're able to do. They got some great video software with Windows PCs. It's been tougher, but I will tell you, this year, I did the video, put all the pictures in. We had 722 pictures, and of that, maybe 50 were like little video clips. So, but pushed it all into Canva, lined everything up, added the different transitions, and then. I used AI for two parts. One was, I told it roughly how long all the slides were after I got all the timing and everything set up. And it was about 16 and a half, 17 minutes. And I put in a prompt like, what songs would you play? what songs would you use for sixth grade, video to kind of do end of the year, upbeat in the middle, kind of reflective in the end, and make them cry, or reflective in the middle, and then let's bring it home. It's always good riddance, time of your life.
Yeah,
it's always the tearjerker. But so I gave me some interesting songs I was able to pull through, and then the cool thing is I've been using Audacity forever. I don't know if you've ever used Audacity to record stuff. And some of our friends do that for their podcasting, right? They use that, and they'll have the kids do that. And I was able to use Copilot Live and be like, look at my screen. What settings do I need to set up to be able to do a couple sound clips and record it? Because otherwise, I was playing it out loud off of my speaker, and I'm like putting my microphone over top to like get. It's good. And it was able to like walk through and say, click on this button, do that. Like, it was funky. Like, I should have recorded me doing that. Definitely a cool tool. Like, how can I set this up to do a better job? So, but yeah, I was able to kind of rock with that. And the only negatives I would say, and I already posted in the Canva Discord that I'm a member of with Canva, exporting video is so tough. I couldn't export it. So I literally just had to click it and preview it. And that's how I showed my class. But trying to either export it as a 4K, even went down to 720, kept getting errors. Everything looking up said it could have been.
Was it the length of the video, or?
And that they said they said if it's over 30 minutes, it won't work. But it was 16 minutes, 16 seconds. But I just don't know, because like there was 700 videos, or 700 pictures, all that jazz. So I have a feeling that it might have been just a large file.
Yeah, because
that's why it was crashing. So I don't know.
We use that to make videos in my classroom. A shout out to Cameron, one of my former students who has graduated and moved away. Very successful young lady.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. But yeah, we use Canva with the projects. But they're not that long. So it had to be something with the length, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
because
it's possible.
It's share MP4 and pull it down.
And me, like I said, I try to be, like I said, I even met with the Clipchamp team and had a little, like, they going over some of their new stuff that they're looking at. So I had a great conversation with them. And I even emailed the guy I kind of had a little meeting with, and I'm like, listen, I can't get the thing. It's crashing. It's not pulling in all the pictures. Like, and it's basically a web wrapper. It's like they're trying to, like, Canva's on the web, right? So it's kind of the same thing, but they're not there yet, So a lot of our schools, but again, that's definitely something where Max, you have it, a little bit better with your video production, things that you're able to do and stuff. So but just I pulled in AI, but still used a tried and true. We do a lot with Canva. We love Canva.
You go into Suno and make some music. Yeah. There's been some upgrades to Suno because I was playing with it the other day and it was a little bit different. I put in some lyrics. I should have written it as a prompt. I put in some lyrics and it was just those lyrics and nothing else. It didn't continue on. So
yeah,
but there was a little bit different look to the app on the upgrade. My students, this was a student idea, because I do the class podcast every week, the week in review. And one of the students goes, you should like make a clip for us of all of the student clips. So the groups that have been doing clips throughout the year, I'm going to mash together and make a little mini podcast for each of them and share it with them for whatever they would like to use with it.
That's cool. And you're still using Soundtrap,
right?
Or Soundtrap. Yeah, Soundtrap. Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah. So we talked about some books, talked about some, got our football talk out. So what else you got? I believe you have something to share on your screen here to talk a little bit about the end of the year.
When we were talking about ideas, and the students were asking, like, what are my plans? So I pulled this up, and I don't know if I can zoom in. It's kind of small, but
that's right.
End of the year, like summer recharge. It's hectic because I am going to ISTE, and we have the KTI summit this summer. So those are two things, and we have a couple PACT meetings. So those are interspersed in between. So it's a little bit of chaos, downtime, chaos throughout. But over 30 years I've been teaching, even whenever I taught summer school, you need to take time and decompress. You can't go full bore. And I know people say, "Oh, teaching's 9 months out of the year." It's more, because when summer hits, very few people I know are totally done. Totally done. We don't have a good work-life balance. So I say take time off, decompress. Like you were saying, you wait till you later in June, give the kids some time to run. So, before you start throwing things with their feedback to you, take some time off and then reflect.
Yeah.
The Girls Gone Google always talk about this at the conferences. Schedule an email to go out a month after you leave a conference. Send an email to look over your notes, a little reminder. Schedule it, take time off, then look back. If you have the end of the year reflection from the kids, look over it, look over your notes. I still keep a journal as to different lessons and make mental notes in my phone as to what worked, what didn't work. I go back through the reflections of kids throughout the year, and I look at the changes I've made and what worked, what didn't work, what can I improve upon. And now with the various AI tools we have, you can throw those suggestions in. Like, here's a lesson, here's the feedback. How can I improve this based on this feedback? And then you get into the, reconnect with things. Okay, now that I have this information, you start planning for how am I going to run things through the next year. And it's also reconnecting with people, because I know, during the school year, a couple of my neighbors are retired, and some work part-time, some are off. They don't necessarily have to have a bedtime, because they don't have a time to wake up in the morning unless there's a special appointment going on. So a lot of times, especially in the wintertime and the spring, the way the weather's been up and down, I don't see them that often. So it's reconnect with stuff for work, reconnect with people I don't see because I'm going to bed early because I get up so early. Reach out. I have more time to do things. So connect with people, connect with your hobbies. I got the garden in right after the week of rain. I couldn't get it in before the week of rain. I got it in after the week of rain, and then it hasn't rained much since. So I've been lugging the watering can up to the garden and hitting the plants. And my wife just laughed. We open the pool, it rains. You plant the garden, it stops.
That's it. The law of Salvucci, we'll call it. That's funny. Yeah.
So reconnect with your hobbies. And you want to get back out on the mountain bike. I got the Charlie trailer. I got to connect, take her for rides. I don't mountain bike anymore, but I'll hit the trails and go down to the park and ride through the park. Do some day travels and just kind of catch up on things that, with testing, with issues going on. Like I said, had some family health issues. Fell behind. I was just keeping up with everything. So now there's some projects on my to-do list that I have. Hopefully I'll have time to get into and start getting stuff done and getting caught up with all the stuff to do around the house that you don't really have time to with work and everything else going on. So it's one of those, try and balance things out and recharge.
That's good. I like it. That's good stuff. Well, I'm gonna take a little different approach here. We're gonna get hard work in. I'm
pushing my former students.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of them. They're trying to work listen, he can't change your grades anymore. So side quests, like risen them up on the YouTube and the Facebook. It's not going to count for you, but we do appreciate that.
They graduated. Their transcripts are finalized.
That's why I said they can't get any more bonus points. It's done. No more side quests. If he's threatening you with grades, it's a lie. It's a fugazi, as they say. It's not legit. All right, so I got this in the email. So I've been digging into doing more as far as like little mini certifications, not necessarily signing up for courses. So I thought some of our viewers may be interested, but Google just put out their deal here. So they're looking at, and it's the ASCD deal. They're kind of working together on it. So it's the Google AI Educator Series is now live. Get started with 26 sessions on Gemini for Ed, Google Notebook LM, pedagogical applications of AI, and administrative use cases. So start learning today. So it's free, but they're kind of going through. And I know some of their going through and doing the certifications and the tests, they have opened up for free even getting your level 1, your level 2, I think are still free. That's going to be shutting, where now it's a nominal fee, maybe 20, $30. I forget what it is now. Look up the Google Goddess on Twitter. She definitely will know. She's got the inside ear. But yeah, so it's just an intro to Gemini, intro to Google Notebook, intro to vibe coding. So I've not done much with this. I've done a little bit with having AI Studio, Google AI Studio create games for my students in math. But this is kind of going into like a lot of hardcore coding kind of stuff. So again, it's just kind of walking through. So again, I'm going to hit the link here just to give you the URL where it sends me. So it's going to be edu certification. So edu certifications edu certifications.google. And then head there, and then there's going to be able to get into the sessions and stuff like that. And if you're not sure, email eric.verno@pht.org or pod@pht.org. And we can send you that link for that as well. So, but edu certifications.google is what the URL is going to go to. But yeah, so that's just an interesting thing. Again, if it's free, it's for me is always a lovely teacher motto. But again, looking over the summer to kind of sharpen your tools a little bit. And again, it's going to be self-paced, kind of, doing what you want to do. I did talk about our math group's going to be doing a math department. I think there's a couple teachers that signed up to do a book study, looking at some stuff there. So, nothing too heavy, nothing too crazy, but yeah, just kind of do that. But then, we got the pool. Thank you, sir. We strung up some lights. My wife ordered some of those because the squirrels ate through our last one. So it kind of works. It goes off of our upper deck to a tree and then goes behind the pool and then kind of back to the other side of the patio. So we've got that all set up and, nice area to just kind of chill and relax. And, during the year, it's tough because, the sun starts going down later. So by the time you get out there and it starts getting dark, if you put a fire in, you're wanting to get to bed, by 9-ish, between 9 and 10. But now you're looking at that fire burning a little bit. Don't want to just leave it out there. So it'll be nice getting some evening fires going and rest and relaxation side. We started kind of doing the family walk kind of a deal. Like we jokingly we call like one of the walks because we did it so much during the shutdown. So like, oh, let's do the COVID loop or this, that. Like, so that's kind of a running joke in the family, like all that. And the interesting one I got for, what was it for? I guess, I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe it was Christmas. But I got a personal sauna. So it's a portable sauna that you set up. So I have one of those for after the workout or whatever. I could just hop in there and just crank it up and just get a good sweat going. So I'm going to be cranking that a good bit this summer. So that'll help, sweat the beard. Maybe it'll bring back some of the color. I don't know.
You got a question from Krenzer.
Oh, yeah. Google AI Studio. Let me look it up here. And it's if you're a Google district. So it's just aistudio.google.com. And we have it set up through our school. And you could even message your tech director because if you're a Google district, I think Crenzer's is. But if you are, they probably have this, but they don't have it live for all the teachers. But you can go in there and you can create. So let's see here. Let me show you the back end. I'll put this up on the screen. Oh, look at this. This is new, Dom. You can do you can do 2 shares. But I'm gonna get rid of the one. Don't want to hog it all up. All right, so the back end. All right, up on the screen now. Looks a little bit like this. So you kind of you log in with your account, and then on the side you got the playground builds, and you can do apps. And when you go into apps, let's see here, resets. All right, so when you're walking through the gallery, the all apps, but you can go in and it's got everything kind of baked inside it, but games and visualizations. So you can kind of click into there and you can work on. They've got some demos that are kind of set up, and I was able to go in and I had it create a math fact game way back at the beginning of the year, but made it like asteroid style. That after so many questions, you got so many ammo that you can kind of shoot up. You can kind of like walk it through doing the different things, but I don't have my other account set up on here that I could pull up and all I did was from it does the code for you, kind of talk it through like you do with AI, and then you can get an embed code. And I just dumped it onto a Google Sites for the kids. So it was, again, with the level of, I think it was the plus, the Google Plus is what the level where our school's at. And they were able to kind of add me to the list for the license, which they have. They just don't open it up for everybody. And I was able to go in, so for me, free, and I was able to kind of go through and create the game. So yeah, I would check it out. So if you're aistudio.google.com and try log it in with your school account. Oh, here's the crazy thing is I even have it up. I don't have, like, it says upgrade to unlock because I'm in with my personal Gmail account. So this isn't even on a school account. That's why I couldn't see the games that I created. But there are some features you're able to do with just a free Google account. So I would check it out, aistudio.google.com. Look at that. Bonus here on the show. My gosh, working overtime. All right, Don, what else you got? See, you have something else pulled up there, or is that the same thing?
No, I was just pulling up what you've been talking about. So I want to play with them because, like you said, summertime. To kick back and take a look and see what's going on and see what I can use. It's I always tell the young teachers, doesn't matter, and like the pre-service teachers we have, doesn't matter. Like I subscribe to the mailbox you talked about, your early childhood stuff. I take stuff out and I just adapt it for high school. The ideas are there, and it's the core ideas to use in your classroom. I
am sure some of the teachers in my building in sixth grade get shocked at how, I want to say mesmerized, but how like focused the kids get when you give them a coloring activity.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine it's even amplified at the high school level because they don't get that opportunity to do a lot.
Yeah, my wife is amazed. Like I'll buy stickers. I've bought stamp pads. She's like, for what? I go, stamp the kids' work. She goes, stickers. I'm like, yeah. Go to a dollar store and buy. Like they like stickers. It doesn't matter. They're older. Color Bliss. Color Bliss is a free. You can AI. It's not the best AI, but I was using the free level. But I was doing, like, when I was going to be out for a conference, said, here's the assignment. Kids, it was getting towards the end of the 9 weeks. I said, if kids need something, I went in and I created wrote prompts for like duck and cover, and the kids could color different Cold War themed pictures. And I said, here's the colored pencils, here's crayons. Kids were into it. Just like you figured they have adult coloring books that are very intricate. It's different things for them to do. It's hands-on activity, fine motor skills, creativity, just relax, taking your mind off things for a bit.
Yeah. No, it is. It's cool. It's a good way to do it. So yeah, no, good stuff. So another element that's kind of tied in with relaxing and taking some time, we just want to kind of give a quick little mini announcement. We're going to kind of change up a little bit for the summer. We're not necessarily, so we got the 1st of June. So the 3rd and the 1st of July, we're going to kind of back off the cadence, and we're going to actually look at just putting out more audio clips over the summer, just more roundtable, almost like office hours where we pull, whether it's a couple high school teachers together kind of talking about some things. Could be PD, could be getting ready, could be pulling some people around specifically to talk about, like we talk about AI Studio, like some AI stuff. What do you see coming down the pike? Google's putting out announcements. Microsoft's got their developer conference going on right now. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out of there. This will be the first year in a few that I will not be attending ISTE, so I won't be in Orlando. But Dom will be there, and he's going to be on the ground, possibly getting some audio clips and talking to some different people. So, but we're going to be able to kind of pull that in. So we're going to do a little bit more kind of relaxed style summer podcast. We'll put out a video here and there, just not on that cadence. Just kind of like do a couple things in the back end, just again, taking some time to kind of work through that. And we don't know if we will or will not. We might, you never know. We might pop up live at KTI. We definitely will have our, the KTI chat happening during that KTI time when that rolls up. So the KTI chat will be going strong this summer with their video and things like that. So just want to let you know that we're going to do some different stuff. I've just been, even like listening and doing some different things in the podcast, seeing a lot of things going on. things are happening quickly. If we had a little bit more of a less scheduled out scenario, we're able to kind of cover some things in more timely manner. So like I said, you may get a 4-minute clip, a 5-minute clip, a 20-minute clip. You may get something that just kind of pushes out in our Spotify. What are we at? Spotify, Apple.
We're on all we should be on iHeartRadio, Amazon, Spotify, all of them. I know when we set this up, we pushed everything out through all the different platforms, and there's even some obscure platforms we're on that you can get us, and then YouTube for the video.
Right. So if it's a video, you look at YouTube, or even we won't put the audio on Facebook, but if a video comes out, you'll see something pop up there. But so like I said, we're just going to kind of look at that, do a little bit more free flow over the summertime, So that's the thinking. So, all right, just wanted to cover that there. Looks like for some reason I got a message off. You got that about trouble streaming to Facebook at this time. So it's all of your fans kicking in. Facebook's overloaded right now. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about this organization. You may have heard of it. It's called PACT. So I know this is an amazing time of year because this is when a lot of our regions are kind of coming together and they're kind of dreaming up what does next year look like? What are things looking like? So I know a lot of those groups have been meeting, they've been talking. So the current, when we look at it, it's a little light when you kind of go through and look at the calendar right now, but it's going to start filling up fast. So we'll start off with the PACT calendar here. So this Saturday, kind of interesting. We've got Fidget Creation Workshop happening in the Da Vinci Science Center on Hamilton Street in Allentown, PA. So they're inviting adults and children to participate in a fidget creation workshop. Adults do not need to bring a child. Any child must be accompanied by a paying adult. So they're going to be doing fidget creation workshops. Looks like there's some 3D printed kind of things. All right, some different designs in there. So from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Really looks like going to be a cool time in the Northeast, cranking out some fidgets.
Yeah,
I like that.
We're wrapping up Remake Learning Days. We're in the final, there's some straggling events in Remake Learning Days, which a lot of PACT members are working with. So our calendar's sparse, but it doesn't mean we're not active. We're just active on different platforms.
Yeah. South Central, they're cranking at the Senators, City Island. Take me out to the ball game. So they got June 7th, 1 p.m. They're going to be, we got $5 for premium members, $17 for free members and guests. All right, so the Harrisburg Senators are going to be playing. So they did registrations closed, but you never know. They might have some people that registered and canceled. So reach out to Jeremy if interested, but go ahead and fill it out. Looks like the registration might still be open there. Might be able to sneak in. Give it a try. All right, we got that. We got our board meeting coming up. And then let me quickly, I did not pull up the glide. There we go. bit.ly/PACT, all caps with the capital E in the events. PACT events. All right, let's see what we got here. And the big thing is when we get together so we got the Harrisburg. All right, so that's all we got listed right there for right now. So our meeting's coming up in 2 weekends. And that's usually a time where all the regional directors are together in one spot and they're going to be able to add some different things to the calendars of the Glide Show. Really, the goal is by mid-July, they kind of have their calendars ready to kind of roll out and kind of let everybody know what's going on. So that's one of the big things. Now, here's the thing. They're in that process. They're in that stage, right? They're in that stage of figuring things out. If you have some cool ideas, share them, right? We're teachers. We always tell the kids, there's no such thing as a dumb idea. Reach out to your regional directors. If you're not sure who to reach out to Dom or I. We can direct you with who you need to talk to. Because I know way back, my origin story with PACT is I could not figure out who the regional director was. I finally just stopped at the table with Pete and Cena and said, I need to figure out who it was. Couldn't get a hold of the person. I drove to King of Prussia. Kingston, outside of Philly. I drove there for an event they were having at a, I'm blanking on it, but they were having a grocery store chain and met the regional director there, Brandon Lutz, and then the rest is history and onward and upward with the path that I took. But so, take that first step, reach out, share those ideas. They are always looking. I mean, that's awesome. Like a fidget creation. That's the first time I have seen that ever on our calendar. in the over a decade I've been a part of the organization. That's an awesome idea. So a lot of cool stuff going on there. So definitely reach out and be active.
Yeah, we're only as good as our membership. You know, we want events for you guys. Give us the ideas. If there's something we can't quite get in motion, but the events are too far away from you, reach out to us. We can let you know how to run an event closer to you, because the regions are large. You know, there's a lot of geography in each region, a lot of space to cover. So if we can't quite do it, we can help you get it done. We're always looking for people to be active in the regions.
Yeah. Hey, and you know, speaking of that, if you have any ideas for what we want to, what you want to hear from us, ideas, topics, questions, if you're looking to start a podcast, you want to learn more about, you know, the different things that we do. We made a lot of mistakes. We continually make mistakes. Hey,
yeah,
that's just how we roll. And so just reach out, you know, feel free, pod@phc.org, eric.verno@phc.org, or Dom Salvucci.
Dominic.salvucci@pact.org. We're looking for people to participate in these little mini sessions over the summer, little round tables and whatnot. So if you're interested, reach out to us.
Yep. And finally, if you're looking at taking a shot at like messing around with StreamYard, you want to have a couple, I think it's like a 30-day pro account plus account. They've been changing their names, but bit.ly/all caps PACTS, and it's PACT StreamYard. So PACTS is cap, TREAMYARD. So bit.ly/PACT StreamYard if you want to get some memberships. Cool.
And we have information on Soundtrap, which is a audio file. Let us know. We have a code you can use to get some time to work with that. So reach out to us.
Yeah. And even, you know, and so going back to us talking, and feel like our advertisement section is now done. But just talking about that, you know, one of the big things I want to kind of refine is the whole, you know, talking out my thoughts, whether it be in Copilot, whether it be in Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever you're using, kind of talking out those thoughts, kind of like cataloging it, storing it, but then being able to pull it later and be like, listen, out of that 20-minute blurb I just gave you, put it in you know, in order, put it into a flow, put it into give me action items, give me a summary, give me, you know, things I can move on, like, you know, that all of from that, whether it be like, say, I'm trying to figure out how can we market the pod. I'm kind of rambling ideas, and then asking AI to kind of like help organize those ideas and thoughts. My goal is to kind of refine that process over the summer, so I can kind of utilize that when I'm driving during the school year, that I can kind of just be in that practice of speaking, you know, getting it out, and then kind of, you know, actionable items later. And I mean, gosh, you can even make an agent that you'll be able to do all of that, then dump it into the agent, and you can set everything up that the agent would be able to kind of process through it like it would every day. So little things like that, you know, just kind of refine it. Like, you know, how can I make my life a little easier, right? Tech is for kids, but it's also for us. How can we make our lives easier with it?
That is
thinking out loud there.
Not to work harder, work more efficiently.
Yep. Work smarter.
Work smarter.
Right. Yep. All right, man. Well, listen, that's a pretty good wrap of the last one, you know, last video on a Tuesday night pod of the summer. And and hopefully everybody listening, you're either you're done and celebrating like Krenzer and rubbing it in her friends' faces, or you are you know, dog walking, getting ready for your last days of school, or, you know, if you got a week or two left, you know, we'll send cookies. Give us, you know, we'll send you some cookies to say we're thinking about you. And but hopefully your year ends strong, and you roll into summer and recharge, disconnect for a little bit, and you know, take time with your family and friends. You know, it's always important.
Yeah, and make the most of your summer, because school will be around as quick as this year seemed to go. School will be starting up soon enough. It's usually like right around July 4th. We come back from vacation, and all the school stuff was out.
Yeah. Had those emails for a while. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, man. So as always, remember,
PACT, we are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond,
in video or audio form. Have a great one. Let's thank our sponsors. Have
Take
a great
care,
rest of
everybody.
your June, folks.
PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First. SAM Labs, engaging and effective K-8 STEM and STEAM educational solutions. Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you. PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First. SAM Labs, engaging and effective K-8 STEM and STEAM educational solutions. Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.